Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Redmen TV. It is daily news time. I'm your host, Paul Machin, at the Paul Machin on Twitter, if you're remotely interested. Interact with the show in the comments section as we are live, or if you've got any thoughts after the fact, please again in the comments box. That would be splendid. Welcome to everyone who's joined us live from the studio. We've got a few things to talk about. Transfer stuff is a little bit thin on the ground at the moment, as you would expect. The Liverpool Echo brought up the Eder Militao links. Again, I discussed this last week. I don't think there's been any great movement on this at all, so I wouldn't get into that too much depth and detail. But the really interesting story today, it broke early this morning. I sort of I had a whole host of sources, but without them being very well cited. But as it says, the world citizens, look, the Sun, the absolute shit rag that is the Sun, has made up a bunch of quotes from Sadio Mane and pushed them out there. And the quotes, for those of you who haven't seen it, when Matty said things which had everyone up in arms. It said, they were mad. They said, "This is not a team of chokers. We will be champions. I'm sure we will be champions of England. When I wake up, I don't go to the training ground thinking we will not win. We are determined to show we're the best team in the league." And there was a load of other bits and pieces. Now, what we've seen since then is that this is a complete and utter fabrication. Apparently, Sadio Mane is apparently raging, really upset that this has been made out and attributed to him because, again, if nothing else, the way that's been sort of like the Talk Sport report on it was that he said it came from the Sun, as though Mane had done an interview with the Sun, which is, again, just was never going to happen, was never going to be a thing. So we really should have known straight away that there was something fishy. And we should have known because Sadio Mane is not the kind of guy who really does interviews. He's not great in them. He doesn't enjoy them. He doesn't speak brilliantly as well. So we should have seen this as being a little bit suspect when it came out, but inevitably, I think half the people who saw it went to this world of like, wow, I love the bollocks on Sadio Mane, and inevitably, there's other people who went, oh my God, he needs to shut up, why is he saying that, he's jinxing everything, and then you had the guys, the people over that side going, what if Lovren had said this, what if Lovren had said this, we'd be dying in the street. He never said it, so it doesn't matter ultimately. But crackers, because I'm still getting notifications from football apps and on Twitter, and I'm seeing people discussing it who haven't seen the rebuttal, who are still seeing it, and you're getting these Twitter banter accounts who won't care. They'll push it out like it's true now because it's made it into the public sphere. They're going to be out there, looking to take the piss and looking to add this as fuel to fire or a stick with which to beat Liverpool. It can get in the bin. And once again, another example of that absolute scumbag shithole newspaper not correctly sourcing things and making stuff. And they've got a history of doing this, and not just around Hillsborough and stuff, which is obviously the most famous stuff, which they got catastrophically wrong. But they've been doing this for years. They've been famously making up quotes from people about someone who died, only to find that the person they quoted was already dead themselves. Just the person hadn't been found yet. I don't need to tell you that the Sun is an absolutely dreadful newspaper, and yet this is a quite comedic example of it, but there are plenty of examples that are just horrendous and just terrible stuff. But more terrible is this notion that people might think that Mane's actually said this and might use this as some sort of ammunition to try and embarrass Liverpool fans if the result against Palace doesn't go our way, as though it would be a negative thing for Liverpool. It can, as far as I'm concerned, although admittedly I'm a touch disappointed that he's not had the bollocks to come out and do this. I wouldn't have minded. I'd like Salah to come out and say this. Yeah, I think it's a bit early, if I'm perfectly honest. I wouldn't mind if it's like, if there's a big title decided, it comes down to the last game of the season and it's win the title or bust, I'd be bang up for one of our main men, one of our big goal scoring, big influential footballers coming out and just going, whacking it out on the table and going, there it is, marvel at it, this is what we are, this is what we're going to do to you. But yeah, not true, so don't stress about it. Burnley centre-half Ben Mee has bizarrely been interviewed, and he's had a say on the Gomez injury that he helped to cause, and obviously I think relating to the company tackle and the volley sending off as well. So I'll just read a little bit on that. You've got him basically, he makes an intimation, and it's around this notion that you need to be able to tackle, because being able to to put in heavy tackles keeps lesser teams in the league effectively I'm not sure I agree with that, if I'm perfectly honest, but I'll find the quotes for you right now. This come from the Liverpool Echo, which is coming from elsewhere. They say Mies rejected assertions and suggested that bigger teams are in danger of becoming overprotected by those who govern the game. It's important to keep it competitive, said May, especially it's for lower teams. It's important we're able to compete with these bigger teams, or you're going to have games where you can't even tackle. The top players just walk around with a ring around them. I thought it was a clean tackle at the time. You know if it's a naughty one or mistimed, and hold your hands up. He doesn't say subsequently. He doesn't say I've looked at it back and I know it was a clean tackle, which it sounds like he's making himself the hero there, if I'm perfectly honest. And he was asked about the company tackle. He thought company shouldn't have been sent off, and he said some people know how to tackle, and because you know how to tackle, then theoretically you can't get red carded. I get what he's trying to say, but I think he's a bit wrong on some of those things, if I'm perfectly honest. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Ryan Babel, we know this by now, has joined Fulham. Former Liverpool player Ryan Babel, wow, the player who we convinced a number of Newcastle fans on Boast deadline day last year that he'd signed for Newcastle, has in fact signed for Fulham. Sound. I quite liked Ryan Babel. He had lots of promise and never really fulfilled it for the club, which is a real shame. He could have had absolutely everything. He had pace and power and skill and a cracking shot at him, decent on with both feet and what have you. So yeah, I like Babel. Could see him. I'd be lovely to have like an ex Liverpool player do some damage to an opponent in the title race. That would be nice, because I think he quite likes his Liverpool connection. I'm sure he'd be made up to have some sort of positive, tangible impact. But yeah, that would be absolutely great. And last news, not really directly Liverpool related, but in a roundabout way, is the news that Harry Kane is likely to be able to march. We saw him got injured at the weekend, and there was a bit of touch and go. It looked like it might be a bad one. Again, he could be able to march. It means he's going to miss. He could likely miss games against all of Spurs and our biggest rivals in the league, which is a shame for us in that regard. But could miss both legs of their game against Borussia Dortmund. I think they've got as well. I have been saying for a while, I felt like Spurs might struggle toward the back end of the season, but they've been absolutely phenomenal. And in any other season, they'd probably be top of the league by now. Liverpool and City have kind of raised the bar a bit. I felt they drop away, and it does look really, really bad news for them. Again, your hope is that Spurs are the kind of team that could they take points off. I don't even know. I presume they've got City to play again. That would be nice. Yeah, let us know your thoughts on the Harry Kane stuff. Shame to say, I don't ascribe to this whole it's a good thing when opponent players get injured. I've not really liked Harry Kane particularly, but it's a shame for him, of course, and a shame. I do know some decent Tottenham fans as well, Flav from the Bullshit and the Fighting Cock podcast being example number one. But it is very, very interesting in terms of the title race. It does feel as though that would be the final nail in the coffin for Spurs, trying to put mount a real competitive push for the top. But yeah, let us know your thoughts on that in the comments. Listen, drop a like on the video if you can. On 74 likes as we do this now, that'd be great. I'm hearing people asking about Forrest from Celtic. I've no idea it is. I'll make sure that Steve adds that onto the agenda. We do the Reds Transfer Roundup show on Thursdays, looking at all the transfer rumours, more concrete stuff from within Liverpool, players going out, players coming in, all that kind of stuff, and general Liverpool news as well. So get over to redmentv.com for that show. Very, very good stuff. Steve's an absolute belter, and he's perfect for that, the wonderful man that he is. So yeah, please do get involved. Other than that, go over and subscribe to my channel if you're on YouTube. You can't be asked. If you're not going to do the paywall stuff, by all means, that's absolutely fine. Go over and check my channel out. Vlogs, opinion, that kind of stuff. That always helps. I'm on the road to 70,000 subscribers, which is lovely. Other than that, thank you very much, Liverpool fans. Thank you very much, Rich. Thank you very much, trolls, for the algorithm. Have a great day, and we'll be back with